Now, I don't like using the word nigga in my everyday life. I don't like the word at all. But there's some things that have occurred and some groups within groups or some demographics of people within demographics of people that I'm using that word at this time. Now, I may change that. This is what happens when you, as a man, usually, but it can also happen to a female. A lot of the times when you're what we call nowadays black, when you deal with certain people with this closed mindset within your family or in the nearest community, you may not be black, but I'm speaking from a specific experience of being black in the northern Americas, and I have a few things to say. In this past year alone, it's 2019 right now, the beginning of May. In this past year alone, I've had quite a few unsavory moments dealing with my family and specifically females in my family. Uh, Even more specifically, they're all single mothers. Now, I want to start off by saying this is not a rant about single mothers. This is not a rant about black females. This is not a rant about anything. I'm simply discussing some very, what I would consider strange experiences that I've had with this specific demographic of people. And I'm actually talking about people that are in my family in specific. I may take that out. I'm talking about people that I've had a relationship with for over 20 years. Now, that said, one of the first examples is this. I was out of the country for over 6 months. While I was out of the country, a relative of mine, she's a female, she's a single mother, she was having issues with her vehicle. Now, I left my vehicle in the United States, and I told her I left it at a relative's house, and the relative called me and they wanted me to move it. So I said, okay, fine. I told this other relative, cousin of mine, I told her, listen, if you go move my car, which my car was located about 3 hours away from where this single mother lived, we're going to call her Asia. I told Asia, listen, Asia called me one day and told me about all these car problems she was having. This was leaking, that was leaking. She didn't have the money to get it fixed. So I said, you know what? I tell you what, I was just gonna have my car moved to another relative's home, but I didn't. I said, if you are willing to take the 3 hour drive to go pick up my car, then what I'll do is I'll let you drive that car until I return. I don't know when I'm gonna be back. It could be a year, 2 years. I might let you have it. We'll, talk about it. But at this time, you can go ahead and if you go pick up the car, you can just drive it. Until you can get your car fixed, until you can get another car. Just make sure you take care of it. That way, you don't have to worry about gassing up any other cars now or buying any other cars. Now, one person might say, why would you say something like this? The reason that I gave her this opportunity is because I've known her since 1986. And, she was having a hard time. She had one kid at the time, I believe. No, she had two kids at the time. She had about a 6-year-old and also maybe a 4 or 5 month old kid. So, and she had a job and everything. She's dating a thug, a guy with a prison record. So anyway, she agreed that she would go get the car, because she needed something to drive around. So her and her mother went to pick up the car. Now, fast forward to 7 months later, I came back to the U.S. and I told her, listen, I'm going to come pick up my car in like 3 weeks. She got nervous. She didn't know what to do. She was like, well, I thought you said I could have the car. I said, no. I told you could drive the car until you fix your car. You got some other means of transportation. So she's like, okay, fine. I can give you the car back in 3 weeks. I said, no problem. So I was driving another relative's car, until she gave me the car back, which at the time was not a problem for me. So the 3 weeks came. I came in to pick up the car. She starts crying and telling other relatives that I'm going to sue her. She's scared I'm going to take some type of legal action against her about this car. And I called her and I tried to explain to her, listen, the car is in my name, the title's in my name, it's registered in my name. There is no legal action that need be taken, in regards to this vehicle. I'm not going to sue you. We're blood relatives. Why would I do that? I allowed you to drive the car for this amount of time to help you. Why would I turn around and, try to do something to harm you? You don't have any money to pay me. You know what I'm saying? So why would I take you to court? What would that prove that? I'm not going to do that. I don't think that's necessary. So she said she understood and she asked if I could wait another 2 or 3 weeks. I said, sure, fine. In fact, I'll give you another month. That's not a big deal. I'm driving the car right now. Fine. So the car I was driving was some type of older Mercedes. It started having issues. The gas was somewhat expensive. The oil change for a Mercedes is like $130. Just a general oil change. So anyway, over the next month, I spent $500 on this car, on this Mercedes I was driving. Now, I said, I went ahead and let her know, listen, this is the last month. I've given you, at the end of this month, it'll be 2 months. So I'm going to come pick my car up on this specific date. She said, okay, fine. So she called me a couple of days after that. I'm trying to make a long story short here, just so you guys know. She called me a couple of days after that, letting me know that her car would be ready next Saturday, which was 2.5 weeks or so before the end of the month that I had given her. I said, okay, fine. That Saturday came. I called her. She didn't answer. Sunday came. I called. She didn't answer. She called me about the next Tuesday and told me her car would be ready the following Saturday. I said, okay, fine. Now, the following Saturday came. Now it's about a week before the pickup date that I gave her at the end of the month. She calls me Saturday, telling me, oh, the car's still not ready. It's not fixed. Now, her car is a 1995 car. So it's not like it's some, super complicated, super computerized vehicle or engine that, nobody can figure out. Anyone, you could fix this car yourself. I said, okay, fine. She tells me, oh, it's not fixed yet, but it'll be ready by next Saturday. Now, mind you, the Saturday that was coming, that she said it'd be ready, I had given her the following Tuesday for the date that I was going to come pick up the car. So I reminded her, I said, well, listen, if your car is still not ready by Saturday, I'm still coming to pick the car up on Tuesday. Now, I had a trip planned to go to Florida. I was going to drive out to Florida the previous month. I decided to cancel that so I could, give her some extra time because she's got kids, not my kids, not my responsibility now. But I know she's dealing with a thug, which she chose to do. And he's doing whatever he's doing. He's got a bunch of other kids. So anyway, Tuesday came, and like I said, this person has known me since 1986. So I don't have any explanation as to why she thought I wasn't going to come pick up the car on Tuesday, as I had advised her. So Tuesday, I showed up. Close to her house. I wasn't sure of her exact address because she had moved while I was out of the country. I called her. She wouldn't pick up. She would only text me. And I texted her, well, what's your address? She wouldn't text me the address. Her response to me was, you owe me $150. I said, are, are you sending, did you mean to send this text to someone else? She said, no, you owe me $150 for insurance. I said, I don't owe you anything. She said, well, my mother has been paying insurance for this car, and if you come pick it up today, she's already paid the insurance. So I said, well, that's the cost of you driving a free car. That insurance isn't covering me or my car. That insurance is covering you. And you're not paying it. She is. I told her, your mother can contact the auto insurance company and have that money credited or debited back to her because I've already started my own insurance on the car again. So, she's automatically no longer insuring this vehicle. She should be able to get that money back in no time. So she says, well, my mother told me to tell you she wants the money before you get the keys. And I said, wait a minute. So what you're saying to me is I allowed you to drive my car free of charge for 7 months. And now you're telling me I owe you money? How does that work out? Are you listening to what I'm saying? I said to her. She's like, yeah, well, what am I supposed to tell my mother? I said, I don't know what you're supposed to tell her. I don't care what you tell her, but I'm not paying her. So she's like, well, my mom said, you're not going to get the car back until you pay. I said, once again, I allowed you to drive my car for no charge for 7 months. So why would you think I owe you any money? I said, why don't you have your man pay your mother if it's that big of a deal? Why is your mother even insuring this car? You're the one who's driving it. So I come to find out later, a few minutes later, that her thug boyfriend has been driving the car. He's had about 4 wrecks. He actually, his brother died in the car when he had one of the previous wrecks. And I said, why would you be letting this guy drive my car? I thought she was more responsible. That was my mistake, obviously. So anyway, so we go back and forth of her, maybe 30 minutes of her not giving me the address to pick up my car. So I went ahead and told her, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I was originally going to drop off the loaner car that I was driving to Asia and drive away in my car that I had, it's already paid off. This is, my own personal vehicle. So since she wasn't giving me the address for whatever reason, like she's trying to hold my car as collateral for I don't know what, I basically ended up having to tell her, listen, you got 2 options. I'm either gonna drive away in this loaner car now, and I'm gonna have my car towed from your house. I'm gonna call the police and file a stolen car and file a report for a stolen car. And when it's found, I'm gonna have that car towed to where I'm living, and you won't have a vehicle at all. Or that's my cell phone. Or you can go ahead and give me the address, and I'm gonna come pick up the car and leave you this loaner car. Which is it gonna be? Those are your options. You can either give me the address and I can pick up the car and leave you this loaner car, which was another relative's car, or I'm just gonna file a stolen car. I'm gonna file a police report for a stolen car, and once it's found, whether it be when you're at work or whatever, I'm gonna have it towed to the house, and you won't have a vehicle at all. And now your ass is probably gonna end up going to jail for some shit you didn't even have to deal with. So at that point in time, she quickly texted me the address. I came over to her new apartment. I got my car. I had some things in the back of the car. She had taken my things out of the trunk and threw them in her storage outside. I was like, why would you take my shit out of the car? I told you I was going to be. Anyway, so this was a major deal. She was creating all these issues. And after I picked up the car, she started sending me these page-long text messages about how she could have kept my car and she didn't have to give it back. And if she didn't want to do this, that, and the third. I don't know what the point of it was. I guess it was to create some type of emotional aggravation, which I'm not easily emotionally aggravated. Now, what I am is easily motivated to take action, which is why I told her, listen, we're not going to play this game. You either, give me the address and I'll come pick up the car, or I'll call the police and have them come pick up the car. It's either way, I'm going to get the car before midnight tonight. So I went and I picked up the car. It hadn't been serviced, bad brakes. It was just, all types of issues that could have easily been resolved. So I took the car to the house. I started working on getting it fixed, so on and so forth. I realized something. I had just been screwed over by a relative that I was trying to help. And also, another note, while she wouldn't text me her address, she started texting me something about her kid's Christmas and, me ruining her kid's Christmas. And I couldn't help but think to myself, I don't give a fuck about your kid's Christmas. They have babies' daddies. You got a baby daddy living in the house. Why the fuck would I be concerned about any kid's Christmas? I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids in the universe. There are no kids out of my loins walking the planet. So anyway, I said, you know what? I'm not fucking with you anymore. I can't deal with you. You're bullshit. You tried to play me dirty after I tried to help you. So I let her know, don't call me, don't text me, don't contact me any longer. Our relationship has now been stifled. So anyway, that was maybe 4 months ago. Now, this is, like I said, a single mother or a baby's mother. And I've noticed I've been having issues with single mother relatives of mine lately ever since I've returned to the United States. Now, the moral of this story, don't fuck with a lot of these broads. I had to learn to let this female struggle. Let her struggle. That's what she wants to do. But let her do that. It has nothing to do with you. You can't take care of her kids or help her with her kids because she made a choice to have children with men who already had children, who didn't take care of those children. So she chose to struggle and she chose the life that she's living right now. So it doesn't make any sense for me to come in and try to offer a vehicle or try to offer any food, any money, any clothing, any shelter, because if that's what she wanted or respected or valued, the man that she chose to have children with would have been a man with those types of means. So I had to learn, even if someone is your family, especially with these females and single mothers, sometimes you got to let them struggle. That's the answer. Stop trying to help. Stop trying to do this and do that, because if they wanted a man's help, they would have chosen a man that can help them when they decided to have children. All right. If you have any questions or comments, please listen below. Again, this is not a rant, a raving. These are just situations that I'm discussing, letting you all know. Maybe I can stop some of you from getting caught up in these situations with your family members while you're trying to help them. A lot of them don't want help. They just want to use other people. That's the goal. All right. Again, post any comments below if you have any questions or you just have any similar experiences. You can always create a video response. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.